Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today I'm going to be going over how to tell she's flirting with you. Sometimes men have a little bit of a hard time understanding or being able to recognize when a woman is into them, and that's understandable because, let's be real, we can be kind of complicated sometimes. However, knowing what I'm going to share with you today might just make your life a little bit easier. Being able to read body language is incredibly powerful because body language can often communicate how we're feeling without even using words. So if you haven't mastered this skill, it's something that I would highly recommend you start to do, and I think that this little list today will help you immensely. So today I'm going to be going over some of the biggest body language signs to pay attention to. I did an entire video all about body language signs that she wants you to approach her, but these are going to be a little bit different today. So these are going to be able to help you see clearly when a woman is interested or when she's flirting with you. Number one, we have mirrors your movements. So this one seems a little bit odd, but the more you think about it, the more it makes sense. So say you're out on a date with this girl and you take a sip of your coffee, and then right after you take a sip, she also takes a sip of her coffee. She's mirroring your movements subconsciously without probably even realizing that she's doing it. Mirroring movements can be a way to try to connect with someone subconsciously without making that physical contact or even using words. So these little things to pay attention to: if you do something and then she does the same thing right after you, say you're sitting at the bar and you lean forward, and right after you lean forward, she leans forward. I mean, it could be so many different things here. It could range anywhere from taking a drink to sitting a certain way. So really just paying attention to if she's mirroring your movements is a great sign, and something that's really easy to spot once you notice it. That one leads me into my next point, which is actually moving closer to you. If she sits right next to you, moves her chair closer to you, or leans in very close to talk to you, these are all great signs. Anytime I went on a date and I was really interested in the guy, I would make it apparent to move closer to him to feel that sort of connection. So I'm sure that a ton of other girls do this as well. Moving closer to someone has actually been proven to be a sign of interest and attraction. And speaking from personal experience, I have done this so many times before. So that leads me into my next point, which is actually physically touching you. And let me just be honest, anytime I have touched a guy in my entire life, it was because I am into him. Hand on his arm or leg, leaning in towards him, touching his shoulder, whatever it might be. Girls have a ton of different ways that they do this, but anytime a girl touches you in a way that's more than just like a handshake or a hug is a really great sign. Girls typically only make physical contact to this extent with a guy when they are genuinely interested in them. This is a huge sign of attraction, and again, I would never touch a guy I wasn't interested in unless it was like an introduction handshake or a hug to one of my guy friends that I hadn't seen in like a couple years or something like that. So keep in mind that these more intimate touches, like if you're talking or laughing and she touches your shoulder, or she puts her hand on your leg, or she leans in close to you if you're at the movies and lays her head on your shoulder, these are all incredible signs, and almost always, I would say 99.9% of the time, a sign that she's interested in you and a sign of attraction. And on the flip side here, if you've made more physical advances towards her and she is not reciprocating it, take that as a sign that she's probably not interested. And just to give you guys an example, I once went to the movies with a guy that was interested in me, but I was maybe not necessarily interested in him at this point in time, and he like touched my leg at the movie and like leaned in very close to me, and I felt very awkward and uncomfortable because I had not gotten to that point yet. So I did not reciprocate, and I feel like that should have made it obvious that I was not into it, and it didn't. So being able to read body language is a huge thing, whether she's interested in you or whether she's not. Number 4, we have fixing her hair. And I mentioned this in the approaching video, and I know it seems really silly because it's kind of that stereotypical like movie thing that girls do, or TV shows. They're like twirling their hair and being all cutesy, but it's incredibly true. So as silly as it sounds, when a girl is fixing her hair, playing with her hair, touching her hair, it often signals that she's interested in you, and sometimes she might not even realize that she's doing it. I think often this can be a sign of nervousness, the same way any kind of preening would be, like fixing your jewelry if she's messing with her ring, or fixing her watch, or playing with her fingernails. Little things like this are often little nervous habits that can signal that this girl is interested in you and maybe feeling a little bit nervous. So keep this in mind. I know these are very little things that might be hard to notice, and again, it can also be a nervous habit. I've definitely done this in the past, so just speaking from personal experience, I've definitely done it. And that leads me into my next one, which is blushing / nervous behavior. Nerves are very natural, especially in the beginning of something, or when you do something you've never done before, or meet up with someone you've never met before. I have definitely had instances in the past where I have felt nervous before a first date, and I get to the first date and I'm talking to someone cute, and I can just feel my face blushing as the conversation goes on. So this is something that some people don't experience, but I think a lot of girls, when they're very excited to be with you, when they think that you're cute and attractive, and they're nervous to be there, they will often blush and not even realize that they're doing it, and they can't even control the fact that they're doing it. So this is something that, regardless of if she has the top self-control in the world, she probably can't control this. So it's going to be very obvious if you're talking to her and the conversation is going really well and she blushes. You're going to be able to instantly see that. And I don't know about you guys, but I am someone who always blushes when I feel a little bit nervous. I remember even when I used to give presentations in college or high school, I would break out in hives across my entire chest and my face would just blush completely. So this was something, lucky for you guys, that I couldn't control about myself, and I'm sure a lot of other girls can't control either. So I've gotten the hives under control the more comfortable that I get, but I'm sure if I went on a first date with someone that I thought was very handsome, I would still blush. If you give her a compliment and she blushes or she acts a little bit nervous, this is typically a sign that she is interested in you. Number 6, we have eye contact. So when a girl is genuinely interested in you and she cares about what you have to say, she will be looking at you and making eye contact with you instead of looking around the room when you're talking to her, because she wants to give you her full, undivided attention and let you know through her eye contact that she is listening to you and cares what you have to say. Eye contact can really build attraction, especially sexual attraction. So make sure that you guys are doing this too. If you're someone who struggles with this, if you're nervous and you find yourself looking down or looking elsewhere when she's talking to you, really make eye contact with her and look at her to signal to her that you care about what she's saying, that you're listening to her, and you're interested in the words that are coming out of her mouth. So eye contact is incredibly powerful. And of course, you don't just want to stare her down the entire date like this, like I'm making you incredibly uncomfortable right now, but definitely have moments where you make eye contact for a good 3 seconds and then maybe look away and look back. So you don't want to be staring at her like you're having a blinking contest, but definitely make it apparent that you are making that physical eye contact with her. It signals to the girl that you're interested and that you're listening to her, which we all know women love. Number 7, we have her feet are facing towards you. So again, this is one that sounds really silly, and I talked about it in my approaching video, but looking back at past experiences that I've had interacting with men, this is something that I've definitely found myself either doing or not doing, depending on if I wanted to engage in that conversation with him or I was interested in him. So say you approach her at a bar and you go up and talk to her, maybe she's standing with her friends, and she keeps her feet towards her friend group and only turns her head towards you. This could signal that she really doesn't want to leave that conversation with her friends and go off with you or engage in a conversation with you. But if she turns her entire body towards you or turns her feet towards you, this is a really great sign, because she's giving you, again, just like the eye contact, her full undivided attention and is fully engaged in that conversation with you. So guys, that is all I have for signs that she's flirting with you or interested in you. Let me know some things I might have missed down below, some things that maybe you guys have experienced when a girl has been really into you. Always love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.